Hello everyone, welcome to Either Cloud Gurukul YouTube channel. In last class I have gone through what is GitHub, right? So let me again go to the GitHub. What is GitHub, right? So most of you already know, okay? So I'll be explaining both in Kannada and English, okay? Wherever you guys are not getting what I'm trying to say, right? Interrupt me in any language, okay? Do not hesitate. So yeah, GitHub, right? So GitHub is a web platform where you guys can store your files, right? As I mentioned earlier, it is a version control system. So ಏನು GitHub ಅಂದ್ರೆ like you guys are already using Google Drive, right? Google Drive or OneDrive, where you will be storing your files, photos, right? Any other documents, right? So it's a kind of a web platform where you can store your files related, right? Files related to project. Okay. So what I meant, right? I'll give just one example before going to practical demo on GitHub, how to use GitHub. So just in layman terms, right? In our school days or college days, what we do, like we'll be having a notebook, right? In notebook we'll write all our notes, right? Every day we'll write our notes and we'll mention date, right? On what date what I have written, right? Based on date you will come to know, okay, on that day I have written this, right? Again, if you go open notebook, you will see, okay, this notes is written on that day, right? And that notes will be checked or reviewed by your teacher, and your teacher will be signature, right? And even teacher put a date when she or he check that notes, right? So in the same way, GitHub is for what? It is for file storage, right? It's a kind of a storage for your code, okay, right? Source code or project related files, okay. It is not just a storage, it's more than that. So we'll be seeing one by one example, but in layman terms, right, it is a web platform where you can track or store your files and track your changes, right? So we'll see, okay, how we can create a file and how we can track the changes, right? In my earlier video I've explained, okay, what is the use of why we need a GitHub, right? You guys can go through the link I have shared in the chat. What is Git and why we need a GitHub, right? So earlier when I think most of you guys know, right? Linux system, like Linux operating system, Linux operating system, most of servers currently uses Linux operating system, and on your system you are having Windows. So while developing Linux operating system, the inventor of Linux, Linus Torvalds, he's the inventor of that Linux operating system. What he faced, okay, he has a huge source code, and for him it's very difficult to maintain the code, okay. It's an open source operating system. Open source means the code is available for anyone to modify or anyone to contribute, okay. So Linux is an open source operating system, and for him it was very difficult to maintain the code, and there are a lot of contributors, okay. I have invented Linux and I written a code, right, which does some functionality, and tomorrow you use that same operating system and you think, okay, no, this feature is not working or this feature is not proper, so let me modify this code, right? So the code is available for everyone, but for Windows the code is not available. Windows is a proprietary owned by Microsoft. It is not available, and it is not available or stored on anywhere like everyone can access. On Git, the Linux operating system code is available. You can go and modify the code and you can contribute, okay. So in order to solve that problem, he invented Git, okay, version control, okay. I'll give an example what I meant by version control. So he developed one more software called Git. Git is a offline version and GitHub is an online version where you guys can commit your changes or store your code, okay. So let's start directly now on the GitHub, okay. I have opened the GitHub, so I hope everyone has a GitHub account, okay. Let me just right? I have already logged in, but let me log out. Okay, sign out. Right. So this is how it looks. Okay, when you open GitHub, this is how it looks, and you need to sign up with your email ID. It's a very simple steps. These steps also I have explained in my earlier video. Okay, you guys can go through that video, and you guys can refer any videos available over the YouTube. Okay, right. I'm not using any technical terms here. It's a very I'll be using very basic terminologies. Still, if you guys are not understanding, just let me know. Okay. So I am logging into my GitHub account. So as soon as you log in, the homepage looks like this, right? So all of a sudden, for non-technical person, okay, what is this? There are a lot of options here. What you need to do, right? So go to dashboard, click on a dashboard, right? And here, okay, this is the first page it will show because there is no any repositories created here. But go to right corner, and here you will see your profile. Click on your profile. This is a profile, okay. This is a profile of Bidar Cloud Gurukul. So this is how it looks like. Okay, and it says you don't have any repository yet. You don't have any public repository yet. So public repositories are those repositories which can be accessed, which can be viewed by other developers or other users on GitHub. Okay, so it says you don't have any public repository, and it shows one contribution in the last year, and there is a green dot. So it will show what are the contribution you have made in the last 1 year, and it will show your activity here. Joined GitHub. When did you join? May 24th and 24th. Okay. So now let's jump into repositories. Okay, repositories are what? Repositories are like a folders, right? Repositories are like project, right? You can use any term, but for now I will use just term called folder, right? So where you can store your code. So there is no any repository yet. Let's create a repositories. Okay, let me click on this repository. Okay. So currently you don't have any repositories. Let me click on new. Right. So I'll give repository name just a GitHub Basics. Right. It's just a repository name. You can give any name. Okay. If you are practicing Python, right? Python practice. Right, you can give any name. Since we are just having GitHub some basics, right? I'm just giving GitHub Basics. Okay. So it says GitHub Basics available, and add a description. So let me just mention GitHub Basics in the beginner guides. So earlier I have typed, that's why it's showing in the suggestion. So GitHub Basic and beginner's guide, right? So here we have public and private. So I recommend and suggest, okay, use public only, because once you can select private, but private repositories are not visible to others, but public repository visible to others. They can see your work, okay, what you have done, what project you have worked on. So based on that, okay, then they can assess you, okay, this guy knows programming language, right? So, and even employers, right, who are interviewing or whoever want to hire you, they will go through your public repositories. Okay. So as of now, let's just create a public. Okay, we'll go to private later, and the next step is add README file. So again, I have explained what is README file in my earlier video. README file tell about your project, okay, repositories, what your repository contains. If it is like Python practice, then your repository will have Python related programs. If it is a GitHub Basics, then your repository will have GitHub related basics, right? Either it may be a source code, either it may be a files, PDF, documents, image, anything you can store. Okay. So I'll show you, okay, how it will appear when we add a README file. So just select this README file and add .git ignore. Okay. This will not. I'll go to what I'll explain in the upcoming sessions. As of now, keep it as a none. Okay. What it will do, like here it will have a lot of options, right? Python, C, C++, all the languages it will be showing here. there are few files will be generated once you create a Python project or Java project, which are not necessary. So you need to avoid those to getting added to your repository. So that's why we will mention git ignore. As of now, let's not select anything. I will explain what is this in the next session. And choose license also, no need to worry, right? I'll explain what this meant. Okay. So these are the very basic things you need to do to just create a repository. Let me click on create repository. Okay. See, now your repository got created. GitHub Basics. Right. You have one file called readme file. If I click on this readme.md, then it has this content. Okay. .md means markdown. There is a extension, right? .java, .py, .exe, right? Like that. .md means is the extension of file, markdown files. Okay. There is for a Word document you will be having .doc, right? PDF. Like that. There is a .md. It's a markdown file, and I'll explain, okay, how we can write the everything about our project. Okay, here I just have mentioned GitHub Basics and Beginner's Guide. I can add here few more things. I can edit here, I can mention, okay. But let's not edit directly on this repository. What I will do, now our repositories got created, right? So now the GitHub, on GitHub, we have created a GitHub Basics repository. It is present on where? It is present on GitHub, online platform, right? Web platform. So now I want this repository in my local, on my machine, okay. So I can work on, right? So there is a software comes into picture, Git. This is a GitHub, and Git is a software which you can install on your local machine. Okay, so if you go to Git, right, just a Git, not GitHub, Git download, right? So there is very first results it shows, right? Download Git, right? You need to download, okay, download for Windows, right? If you click on this, it will get download. Okay, so how to download Git and how to install Git on your local machine, the same thing I have explained already in the earlier session and in the earlier video. So you can refer that video and install that on your machine. I hope everyone has this Git already installed on your machine. So let's not waste our time here. Let's directly go to now try to get this repository on our local machine. Okay. So what I will do, let me go to, let me create on desktop. Okay, so what I will do, I will create you guys can choose any place. Okay, I am just creating on desktop. What I will do, GitHub, right, GitHub lab. Okay, and if I open this, currently this is empty, right? This doesn't have any folder, right? Any project or any repository. Okay, there are two ways. You can hold the control key and right click, right? From here you can directly open git bash here. Okay, you can click on this, or else you just double click click on this and click on backspace and type cmd. Okay, so it will open command prompt. Okay, for Windows there is a command prompt, but same for Linux it will be bash. Okay, so now we are here. If I type git, right, it will show options. These options will come only if you install Git on your machine. It's just a simple software. Go and install if you are not still installed, or if you don't know how to install, refer any online tutorials, or even you can refer that video which I have already shared in the group. Okay, so it will show all the options, but here what we need, right, the very first command which we will gonna use, right, to in order to, we need this, right, we need this GitHub Basics in this folder, right? Currently it is empty. So what we need to do, right? So I always recommend to use commands, okay, right? come here and select this code. Okay, right here it is a main. I'll explain what is main, and in the codes there is a drop down. Okay, in the HTTPS, okay, here the link, just copy this and come here, type git clone and paste this URL. Since it is what, it is a public repository, right, it can be cloned easily, it will not ask anything. Okay, hit enter. Now what will happen, it is copying that GitHub Basics to your local machine. Now what happened, see, now the GitHub Basics copied to your local machine. If I open this, it has a readme.md file. Now I can edit this, edit with notepad or whichever you comfortable. Just open that in notepad ++ and we can see the content of this file. Okay, so it is just cloned. Okay, the very first command what we have learned is git clone and your repo link. You need to provide your repo link here, right? What it will do, it will copy remote repo to local. Remote repo to local means from GitHub to your local, right? This is your local machine, right? Now you have copy of this, right? GitHub Basics, right? So if you come here, right, if you type dir, right, it will show the folder in it, right? You have to go inside this cd means change directory, cd, and type git git. If you just mention first 3 letters and click on tab, it will take full name and just enter. So now you are inside this GitHub Basics. Okay, in order to execute any commands after that, you need to go inside this folder. Here we are having, right, I am outside, I will go inside and again I will open from here cmd same. You can do the same thing from here also. Now we are inside this, right? Now just type git a branch, right? What it shows, main. Okay, right? One second, let me go to notepad. Now what we did, git branch. Okay, get branch, what it will show, it's main. So every repository, I'll use short form repo, will have default branch called main. Okay, right? So what is the use of branch, right? Let me tell you. The main branch will have your files, okay, your files or folders, okay, right? So for example, currently your main branch is having 10 files, okay, 10 files. Now your project, as project grows, the file size will increase from 10 to, right, from 10 to 12, okay, even from now like 10 to 18 or 19 also, right, based on your functionality, right? So whenever you clone the repository, you will be always on the main branch. Okay, so this is what your root branch. Okay, and what is the use of branch is, okay, the main purpose of Git is to collaboration, right? So the on main branch, okay, always avoid working on a main branch. Okay, when you are working on projects, I'll explain what is the what is that branching, right, in Git. So today, right, so now Pratik has cloned my code, okay, right, and Pratik has cloned my code, right, clone the same project or repo, right, and even Vinod has done the same. Vinod has done the same clone thing, right? So Now how I'll know, right? Okay, so Pratik, once he clone, he'll start working on the same main branch, or else what will do, Pratik will create a his own branch, git checkout minus b means new branch, Pratik branch, right? Pratik's branch, and even Vinod will have his own branch, right? One second. Vinod's branch, right? So what happened now? Let me open quickly. Okay, this is yesterday's discussion what we had. Okay. Right. This is the main branch, and for this main branch there are contributors. Okay. Okay, let me explain the terminology in which you guys quickly understand. Okay, we are producing one film, right? This is our main project, film, right? And someone is working on, for example, on action items, right? And someone is working on locations, and someone is working on finance, right? Someone is working on meetings, okay, right? So if everyone started using the same repository and doing everything directly on this, then there is a lot of it's not a clean, and no one knows who is owning which responsibility, right? Now Pratik is owning these action items, and then Vinod is owning locations, and finance is owned by Shiprakash, and meetings are owned by some other guy, right? So, but our main branch was this, right? And it has a sub branches. The film is the main branch, and it has sub branches. Similar way, our project is film, and project will have smaller modules, right? For the as per as modules, we will create a branch. Once we done all our changes, then we will send these changes to film, right? The main branch. So, in order to send the main branch, you will be requesting, okay, I am done my work, okay, can you merge this action item with this project, right? You will requesting this, okay, let's add this to this. Then once after location is done, you will be adding this. Once finance is done, you will be adding this, and then everything now, like if film, right, film owner comes and look into this project, he'll be identifying based on your these branches and these commits and everything. I'll show one by one what that meant. But the main idea behind that branching is this. Okay. Here, right, we'll create a branch, then we will send this branch to main again. So now pretty much we saw the basics. Now let's do some practical things. Okay. What practical? Let me just go back here. Now I'll not create any branch, okay? Just I'm on main branch, okay? And on my main branch, I'm having this file, okay? What I will do, I will enter here my first change, and I'll save, okay? I have done the changes, and I'll come here, and even it is not available currently on. Here it is not available, right? If I go GitHub, it is not available. It is just a GitHub basic beginner guide. My changes are not available. Now, how to send my changes from my machine to GitHub, right? That we will see. Here, let me type git status. Okay, what git status will do, right? It will show current what is the status of your project, your repository. Then it will show, okay, Look, this is modified. It shows in red. Okay, the file readme file has modified. Okay, so now what I will do, git diff. What modified to check? You just copy this, paste here, right? So it will show. There are two lines got added. I have added one new line and then I have added this, right? So git status will tell us what happened, status of your project, where which file modified, and git diff what it will do, it will check. Okay, now it shows the list of modified file. In order to check what content got changed in this file, you need to use git diff and this file, and it shows my first change, right? So it shows in green. Now like, okay, this file is modified, right? So I want to add this file, right? I want to send these changes to where? To GitHub, right? So git type add and copy this name. You can just mouse over and select this and right click, come here and right click and then just add. Okay, now if you see, right, again if you enter git status, okay, it will show in green. Earlier it was showing in red, it's showing in green. So again there is a concept here, okay, there is a concept stage. Okay, your file is about to push to remote branch or online, whatever GitHub we are having, right? So in order to make sure that your file is ready to push or ready, when your file turned from red to green means your file is ready. This is a staging area. Okay, still we have not pushed our file to GitHub. Okay, so there is a one, what commands for now we gone through? We gone through what? Let me type here quickly. These are very basics commands. Okay, git clone, we saw git clone, we saw git branch to check which branch we are in, and we saw git status to check the status of your project or repository, and git diff file name to see what got changed. Now we saw git add and file name, yeah, right? So now we'll see git commit. Commit means we are okay, we are fine with the changes. Okay, we are about to commit. Commit means your changes will be get added to your repository. Okay, the changes still it is not added to your local repository. Okay, so git commit and -m. Okay, why I am adding this file to, right? What changes I have made? Okay, this is my first change, right? Changes just mention message. It's always you can directly type git commit and enter. I mean, message is always good to have. So it will say what you have done in that file, right? So hit enter. Now what happened? Okay, let me clear the screen. Okay, I'm just typing CLS. Now you committed your file. Okay, so let me quickly show what is when I say what is happening. Okay, what is happening behind the scene when you, okay, let me just, okay, when you are executing these commands, what is happening? This is your local repository, means on your machine. This is GitHub. Okay, GitHub, right? The remote, right? So this is your local branch. Local means you are the branch or your repository on your local machine. So in between there are steps it will follow. Okay, right? This is the index. Okay, your this is a local branch and the file what you have having in your machine. So when you do git add, right, it will be where? It will be in this stage. Okay, it is not yet committed even on your local branch. So when you do git commit, so now your local, now this change is present on your local branch as well. Okay, right, now your local branch also having your changes. Okay, right. So git, when you do git add, it just index, okay, your file is ready. Okay, and then you do git commit, then your, it will be actually it is available till here. Your whatever you are having, right, for example here you had a readme file, right, a readme.md. the content of this was still here, it is logically it's still not present. Okay, it's just whatever the text you are added here. Okay, it is not updated yet. Your this readme.md file will update only if you do commit. So now your local branch or local repository is ready with your changes. Now we need to push these changes to remote. Okay, so now if you see, right, the changes still not here. Even if I refresh, it is not here. Okay, so the very next what you will be doing, push. Okay, git push origin. Since you do not mention any created any branch, here you need to mention a branch name, but we have not created any branch. Okay, we are on main only, so you need to mention anything. Okay, after executing this only it will available on remote. Okay, now let's go and execute that. Okay, git push origin, right, you can mention main or you cannot mention. Even if you are not mentioning, that is fine because you are working on the same branch. So if I hit enter, right, so now the link got created. Okay, let me copy this, right, if I open this, right, now here also you can refresh. Okay, my first change, and here, I mean, if you just refresh also, so that works. See, now my changes, right, my changes comes here, my first change, right, the whatever we have added here, right. So this is how git works. Okay, right. So the first step, once you do any changes, check with the git status and then git diff and then do git add. After your file is indexed, then you just commit with a proper message, right. Once you commit, your file now is available on this, on local branch, and then when you do git push origin, then it will be available on where? On a GitHub. And now you can see the things. Okay, right, see whatever message I have given, right, this is my first changes, right, this is a commit message. If I click on this, it will show who done changes when, right, Bidar Cloud Gurukul committed 5 minutes ago, right. So which user did what, right, it shows here, right, what changes he has made. So everything we can track here, right. Again, what I will do, tomorrow I will come my second change, right. So again I'll do the same thing, I'll check git status, which file got changed. I have only one file, so no need to check this, but you will be having, while working on multiple project, I mean large project, you will be having a number of files, better to check this. Okay, which file got changed, so you'll be having modified, right, again same thing. So just check what you have added here, git diff, again you copy this, right. So my second change got added, right. So now I again do git add, the same file will be get added to index, and then again if you click on upper arrow, you'll be seeing earlier commands. So you just type this my second change, right? Again, then you need to execute push, right? So again it is went to, if I refresh, right, if I go again this repository, my first change, my second change appeared, right? So that's why you start creating while doing this activity. If I go to profile, right, now my profile looks like this. Okay, I am doing some activities here. The one more dot is got created here. If you mouse over, it will show, okay, what you have done. So 3 commits, 3 times you have made a commits today. If I click on this below dot, it will show just I have joined the GitHub. So this will potentially help employer to check what activity you have done over the period of time. You have not kept quiet. You have keep on learning. You keep trying your skills and you are committing your changes. So it is visible. So if I go here and again I can see, right, my first change, second change. Now it is updated to second changes, right? If I click on this, it will show again second change what got added. Okay, you want to see whole history, then you click on these 3 dots. You can view the file, right? And you can see the history here. There is a history button here. My first change, first initial commit, when I created a readme.md file. Then the second one, this is my first change, this is my second change, who committed, Bidar Cloud Gurukul, his profile will come into picture, right? So this is a very basic. So you start with this. Don't worry about, now you just created a GitHub Basics. Okay, in the GitHub Basics, create some other folder, right? I'll just create some other folder in my local, right? Python Basics, right? But let me do one thing. Okay, I'll not do anything here. I'll delete this. What I will do, I will not directly do anything on main branch. Okay, I'll clear this. I'll create one more branch. First I'll check on which branch I am. Git branch. It will show main. I'll create a new branch. Git checkout --b and then Python Basics. I just given Python Basics branch. You give whatever the nomenclature you want to remember, right? This is yet to be not needed. The branching will come when we are when you are doing collaboration with any other projects. That time branching is needed, but it is always good to know, like, okay, how the branching works and where, like, how it will help, right? So earlier you see we are working on main branch and it is directly easily available on the GitHub. Now I'm creating new branch. Okay, Python basic branch. Okay, what it says, switch to new branch. Now if I if I type git branch, it says you are on Python basics branch, right? Now what I will do, I will create one folder here, Python basics, right? And I'll just copy the same readme file here inside this. Okay, then I'll edit. You can have as many as readme file based on the folders or based on the folder structure. Inside this, what I will add, now I'll add Python basics. I'll say some more things. Okay, this folders will have this folder contains basic Python programs, right? Just I have given one more readme file. Now if I come here, I'll check same git status, right? It shows a folder. Okay, the newly folder got created, it's showing red mark. Now same thing we need to do. git, right? If I do git diff, it will not show anything because it is newly created, right? If I do the same thing, it will not show anything because it's a newly created. Just do one thing, git add okay. Now git status, again check, right? New file, it says new file. Earlier I have added before this session, so that's why earlier readme file I haven't had this new file, so the new file got added, right? Now do the same thing, git add and copy this, just mouse over on this and right click here and it will be coming there, and just add it, git add and then git commit with a message. I have created, you just mention anything, I have created one more folder for Python. Now you see, okay, it's committed. Now when you push right, git push origin, what you have to mention, this Python basics branch, the branch name, okay. Now when you hit enter, see here it's not a direct link, the earlier link, this link is different. Now it has pull, okay. Let me copy this, copied, right? Here also it will come, okay. Now the pop-up is coming, compare and pull request, right? I will not click on this, I will open the link whatever it is generated. If I click on this, right, so here it will ask you to create a pull request, because our main branch is main, okay, the base branch is main, and the branch we created Python basic branch, okay, right? So it is asking, okay, we have to merge our branch to main. So here I have shown, right? Where is that? Here. So film is our main project and it has a modules. Now can we merge this action item to film, because action item is done. So can we merge? We are requesting here. Whom we are requesting? We are requesting film owner, right? In the same way, here first we have to create a pull request. When you click on this pull request, since here owner is I am and even what contributor also same, right? I am the owner, I am the contributor. So for me, right, it will the button is enabled, okay. I mean it request came to me, and now here I can provide the reviewer, okay, right? Before creating the request, I can add a reviewer who can review this. So while before I merge this action items to film, I will see what contents this guy has added, right? The branch has no conflicts with the base branch. So it will say, okay, there is no any conflicts. I will come to this later, but I will go to file changed. Okay, this guy has created this Python basics and this readme.md, and this is a file. Okay, I will review this and I'll again come back here. Okay, and then I will merge. Right, there is an option called squash, rebase, right? But we'll go those things later. But if I click on merge pull request, it will get merged, or else I can even close the pull request without merging. Okay, now I'll click. Now if you see, right, still our changes is not present, right? It has only readme.md, it doesn't have Python anything. But here I'll click on merge pull request and I'm confirming my merge. Okay, again it will ask confirm. If I click on confirm merge, okay, your changes merged, Python basic branch merged to main branch. Now if I go and refresh, right, Python basics started appearing here. Now here your action items are accepted by film, whatever, the film owner, right? So it's the same way your Python basic got added. If I go inside this Python basic, for Python basics we do have separate readme, what this folder contains, right? So that file is inside this Python basics and it will talk about that Python basics folder. Okay. So this is how Git works. Okay, these are very basic discussion we had, more than discussion, the demo we have. Okay, now if you see, right, here two branches, the main and two branches. If I click on branches, the main branch and your branch and active branch. Okay, so the branch got created. I can delete. Okay, but I can keep my for my reference. If I open this branch, right, see, it will show. Okay, here drop down also we can select. The default is the main and one more branch got created. Right. Similar way we can have n number of branches based on the task what we are doing in the project. Okay, your film will have what? Basic start 1, 2, 3. Okay, so your even action items will have those 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 4 and with the action items. Right. Similarly, finance team will be also having same thing with film. So all how will be working? All modules will be working on the main skeleton of the project, right? Right. You have a car, and you are without car. What you will do with adding different wheels to that car, right? So your action item branch will have a film, finance will have film, meeting will have film, location will have films. So action items using the film as its starting point, right? Like where it, okay, it has everything. Who is the film owner, who is the film producer, director. Okay, for this film I am creating action items like that. We need a main branch, but we will not be doing anything on the main branch directly. That is not recommended. You have to create your own action items related branch and then you have to start working on that. When you create a pull request, the main branch owner will review your code and then he will merge the Python basic branch to main, right? This is how it will work. So this is pretty much very basic. Okay, we'll go some more advanced concepts. Okay, how to contribute and how to work in a teams, right? So let's do that. Okay, let's go through those concepts in next upcoming sessions. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.